Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. There's a video on PIB monthly compilation, and I'll be discussing PIB for the month of September. All the important news that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination perspective will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the session. So these are the list of the content that I'll be discussing with you. I've segregated the news as per the general studies requirement. All the relevant news that is important for general studies paper 2 will be discussed. News that is important for general studies paper 3, some news that is brief in nature, bilateral agreement and summits that is important for the month of September, and the military exercise and initiative that was relevant for the month of September. So we'll be proceeding with the entire session one by one. And if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. So starting the session with the first, that is the General Studies Paper 2 related news that is more relevant for the examination purposes. Among them, the first is National List of Essential Medicine 2022. The list has been recently released by the Government of India. So recently, the Union Home Minister of Health and Family Welfare has launched the National List of Essential Medicine. This is also known as NLEM. This is a regular exercise that government used to do. The first NLEM was compiled in 1996 and it was revised in 2003, followed by 2011 and 2015. After 2015, this is another list of medicine that has been released by the Union Health Ministry. So what is the main aim and rationale behind the National List of Essential Medicine? See, this list play a very important role in ensuring the accessibility of affordable quality medicine at all level of healthcare. So this will ensure that the individual, the patient who is reaching out to the government official has the accessibility to the affordable medicine, right, even for any other diseases. This will even give boost to the cost-effective quality medicine and contributes towards reductions of out-of-pocket expenses on the healthcare of the citizen. Talking out precisely about the out-of-pocket expenses, we have seen that during COVID-19, a lot of out-of-pocket expenses was reported from India. Many international organizations has even reported that during COVID-19, the out-of-pocket expenses in India was high because of the some of the cost of the medicine injection that was non-available, which was even black marketed, which has ultimately led to the out of high pocket expenses. Now additional drugs of list की बात करें जो कि गवर्नमेंट ने इस बार recently release किया, a total of 384 drugs has been released by the government of India. In this, 34 drugs has been added while 26 has been listed out and it has been dropped. कौन कौन सी ऐसी ड्रग्स है जिसे ऐड किया गया और रिमूव किया गया? टू इंपॉर्टेंट नेम, दैट इज फर्स्ट इज आइवरमेक्टिन एंड सेकेंड इज म्यूरोप्रोसी. दिस हैज बीन एडेड. और दो ऐसी ड्रग्स हैं जिनको ड्रॉप की गई है. फर्स्ट इज रेंटिडाइसिन एंड अदर इज सक्लेफरेट. दिस हैज बीन ड्रॉप्ड. दीज टू drugs has been dropped out. Now the Union Health Ministry stated that the essential medicine are those that satisfy the prior healthcare needs based on the efficacy, safety, quality and total cost of the treatment. Now what is the purpose of NLEM? जो National List of Essential Medicine release होती है उसकी क्या purpose है? See, it ensure that the medicine considered for three important aspects. First is the cost, second is safety and third is the efficacy. And it also help in the optimum utilization of healthcare resources and budget, drugs procurement policies, health insurance, improving and prescribing the habits, medical education training for the UG and PG, that is for the undergraduate and postgraduate, and drafting the pharmaceutical policies. Now, even in NLEM, that is the National List of Essential Medicine, the medicine are categorized based on the level of healthcare. We have three levels. The first is the primary, second is S, that is secondary, and third is T, that is tertiary, right? Other news, that is the National Conference of State Tourism Minister. Recently, the 3-day Conference of State Tourism Minister, which began at Dharamsala in Himachal Pradesh, and this national conference saw the participations from the various minister of the states, governor, administrator from the union territories, senior government officials. The Union Ministry for Tourism has urged all the states to share and adopt the best practices to boost the tourism sector in our country. We have seen that during COVID-19, this sector was negatively performing. Now, the government aims to ensure that almost we are on the recovery phase, the tourism sector should be boosted. धर्मशाला डिक्लेरेशन के नाम से बेसिकली जो इतनी चीज़ें हुई हैं दैट्स नोन एज धर्मशाला डिक्लेरेशन दिस एम्स टू रिकॉग्नाइज इंडियाज रोल इन contributing towards the global tourism as well as focusing on recovery by promoting the domestic tourism which has been overlooked for a long, and even due to COVID-19 infections and lockdown this was not appreciated. The Dharamsala Declaration called for sustainable and responsible tourism. This is a tagline, even you can take a note of this. The action plans to encourage more Indians to travel domestically to explore India's natural, cultural, and spiritual beauty, and simultaneously reaching the goal of Ek Bharat, Shreshth Bharat, that is, interaction and mutual understanding in a significant complemented of the declarations. Now, roadmap क्या है tourism sector के लिए? How government is looking forward to revive this sector? The Ministry of Tourism, after a wide consultation, has prepared the National Tourism Policy 2022, and this policy aims to improve the framework conditions which will call for the boost of tourism and even for the tourism development in our country, supporting tourism industries, strengthening the tourism support functions, developing the tourism for the subsectors. So this is the main aim and the roadmap behind the tourism sector. The National Tourism Policy also aims to give impetus to digitalization, innovations and technology through the National Digital Tourism Mission, skilling through tourism hospitality sector skill missions. The policy also gave a special impetus to the private sector participation through triple P mode, that is a public-private partnership. तो गवर्नमेंट मेजर्स की अगर बात करें, गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से क्या क्या ऐसी इनिशिएटिव्स ली गई हैं जो कि बूस्ट करेगी टूरिज्म को. सो गवर्नमेंट हैज़ प्रोवाइडेड द इमरजेंसी क्रेडिट लाइन गारंटी स्कीम विच वाज रिसेंटली देयर, एंड गवर्नमेंट हैज़ इनहांस्ड 50,000 करोड़ रुपीज़ फ्रॉम 4.5 लाख करोड़ टू 5 लाख करोड़. गवर्नमेंट ने टोटल सिर्फ टूरिज्म सेक्टर के लिए 50,000 करोड़ दिए हैं, और जो टोटल इमरजेंसी क्रेडिट है वो 4.5 लाख से बढ़ करके 5 लाख तक हो गई है. दिस इज़ फॉर ऑल अदर सेक्टर, डू नॉट कन्फ्यूज. सिर्फ अगर बात करें टूरिज्म के लिए टोटल 50,000 करोड़ दी, और गवर्नमेंट ने जो पूरी इमरजेंसी क्रेडिट लाइन गारंटी स्कीम में पूरी जो खर्च किया है दैट इज़ अ कॉस्ट ऑफ 5 करोड़ रुपीज़, राइट, which also include hospitality sector related to hostel and restaurant, marriage halls, travels, tours, adventures and heritage facilities. The center plans to bring the necessary intervention which include visas reform, ease of travel, travel-friendly immigration facilities, openness to international travel, and major topics that will be deliberated during the meeting. So it come up with the conclusion that the Government of India is looking forward to boost the tourism. Now, what is our goal? The declaration also talked about the National Tourism Policy, which drafted for a holistic vision and a strategy to revive India's tourism, which will contribute around 1 trillion by 2047. India will be marking 100 year of independence in this day. So government has set 1 trillion target. By 2024, the declaration also mentioned that the country is estimated to contribute 150 billion to the GDP through tourism, and 30 billion in the foreign exchange reserve and 50 million in the foreign arrivals. By 2030, India is estimated to grow by 7 to 9% compounded annual growth rate in terms of tourism. So this is again an important point. You can take a note of this as well. Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. Recently, President of India has launched Pradhan Mantri TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. The mission aims to achieve the goal of tuberculosis elimination in India by 2025. So this is a deadline that Government of India has set. Now this become important because for many other competitive examination, they can directly ask you about the timeline. Even for UPSC prelims, UPSC generally ask this type of factual question as well. What is the timeline? So government की जो target है that is by 2025. PM TB Mukt Abhiyan will provide community support to all those suffering from the tuberculosis diseases, and it is a treatment ineffective and accessible to the government provide free of cost facility for the prevention and treatment of this disease. Now there's a portal known as Nikshay 2.0. The president has launched this portal. Nikshay Mitra initiative was also there to ensure an additional dialogue, nutritional supplement and vocational support to the patients who are undergoing the TB treatment. So there will be individual known as Nikshay Mitra who will be looking after this, and this is the initiative to ensure to provide additional diagnostic supports. The initiative encourage the elected representative, corporates, NGOs, and individuals to come forward as a donors to help the patients to complete their journey of the recovery, right? And Niksha 2.0 portal that I told you in the beginning will facilitate providing additional patient support and improve the treatment outcome for the TB patients, augmenting the community involvement in the meeting India's commitment to end TB by 2025, and even leveraging the corporate social responsibility opportunities. See, through the Companies Act, the CSR concept has arisen और इस concept में health care sector पे भी गवर्नमेंट ने खासा ध्यान देने की बात कही है. Aim of the Niksha portion. This initiative is intended to provide additional nutritional and social support to the patient which is there affected with the TB and root out that stigma and discrimination that is there in our society. There are three types of support that is provided. The first, a kit containing appropriate food and supplement will be provided. This is for the nutritional requirement. Second is the additional lab-based diagnostic requirement which will be provided. Third is equipping the patients with the vocational skill to help them to join the workforce and live a prosperous and productive life. Under this initiative, individual, organization, corporate, cooperative organization, elected leaders and LGO can provide support by adding more TB patients and even ensuring that they are getting the right help from the stakeholders. Target for the TB eradication, as I've told you, by 2025, according to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, all nation has set a target of eradicating TB by 2030. For India, this is 2025. The government of India has set a target to eradicate TB by 2025, and the efforts are being made at the fullest to ensure that we are coming with a resolution on it. कुछ गवर्नमेंट के इंपॉर्टेंट मेजर्स जो गवर्नमेंट ने लिए हैं to ensure that TB is eradicated completely from India. There's a national tuberculosis elimination program, that is a national strategic plan to end TB by 2025 under the Detect, Treat and Prevent Build program. This is called DTPB. यूनिवर्सल इम्यूनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम है, उसके अलावा रिवाइज नेशनल टीबी कंट्रोल प्रोग्राम अंडर नेशनल हेल्थ मिशन. निक्षा पोर्टल मैंने आपको बताई. दिस इज टीबी सैंपल ट्रांसपोर्टेशन नेटवर्क इज ऑल्सो देयर. डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ नेशनल फ्रेमवर्क फॉर जेंडर रिस्पॉन्सिव अप्रोच टू द टीबी. So this all initiative will definitely help for the TB patient to overcome, and the target that is set by the government of India is by 2025 will definitely be achieved. Now the other news, that is General Studies paper 3 related important news that is important for the month of September and even relevant for the examination purposes. First is the National Logistic Policy 2022. Recently, the Department of Promotion in Industries and Internal Trade has notified the National Logistic Policy. It seeks to provide a framework for the development of logistic ecosystem in our country. And logistic include the transportation and handling of goods, storage, value addition, and the elite services. बैकग्राउंड की अगर बात करें, क्या नेशनल लॉजिस्टिक पॉलिसी से पहले गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ इस तरह की पॉलिसी ऑलरेडी रखी हुई है? सो गेटिंग इनटू द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ इट, since 2014, the government has put significant emphasis and impetus for ease of doing business and ease of living. The National Logistic Policy, which is there, is a comprehensive policy which aims to issues the high cost and inefficiency, laying the overreaching discrepancy, interdisciplinary, even for the cost sectoral, multi-judiciary framework development through logistic ecosystem and another step in this direction. So this will ensure कि जो गवर्नमेंट ने ease of doing business की जो concept 2014 में start किया, even for ease of living, this is contributing and supplementing this initiative, right? The policy, that is a national logistic policy, aims to endeavor to improve the competitiveness in Indian goods, enhancing the economic growth, and also to increase the employment opportunities among the youth, right? Now the other part, that is the PM Gati Shakti, the National Master Plan for the Multimodal Connectivity by the Prime Minister was launched. That was in a pioneering step towards the logistic and multimodal part. PM Gati Shakti will further boost the complementary and even though it will complement the launch of the National Logistic Policy. So by National Master Plan, we have already set up background for the National Logistic Policy. Now some salient features of this policy. First is a target now to reduce India's logistic cost compared to the global benchmark by 2030, improve India's ranking in the Logistic Performance Index, which is also known as LPI. LPI की जो index है उसकी performance improve करनी है among the top 25 countries by 2030, and even to create a data-driven support mechanism. Reductions in the logistic cost, जो पूरी logistic cost है उसे कम की जाए, and even to improve the efficiency in the transportation, warehousing, inventory management, and regulatory matters. It will also call for improvement in the transportation that envisaged for the increment in efficiency through multimodal infrastructure, which is a part of the national logistic policy, and even the sectoral for the efficient logistic. तो ये कुछ important component होंगे जो कि इस policy में envisaged की गई है. The policy seeks to develop warehouses with an optimal spatial planning that will facilitate the private investment. So this will also call for the triple P model, which will help even government and private partners. Inventory management is sought to be improved through reliable supply chain by promoting the digitalization. Monitoring and coordination is another important aspect. The empowered group of secretaries set up by the PM Gati Shakti National Plan will monitor the implementation of the national logistic policy. So this is actually an important question. You must take a note of this. The empowered group will be set up as a service improvement group for monitoring the implementations in progress, regulations, digitalization of the logistics sector. तो उस पूरी प्रोसेस की लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर में किस तरह से प्रोसेस में इंप्रूवमेंट लानी है, रेगुलेशंस को कैसे इंप्रूव करने हैं, एंड इवन फॉर द डिजिटलाइजेशन दीज एक पावर्ड ग्रुप ऑफ कमिटीज विल बी टेकिंग केयर. नाउ कृतज्ञ 3.0. Recently, the Indian Council for Agriculture Research with the National Agriculture Higher Education Project and the Crop Science Division organized the Hackathon 3.0, which is also known as Kritagya, to promote speed breeding for the crop improvement. Very important for the prelims examination. A directly question can be framed in the prelims. What is the complete full form of the Kritagya? KRI stand for Krishi, that meaning agriculture. TA stand for Technique or technology, and GS stand for Gyan or knowledge. So this is agriculture, technology, knowledge. क्या एडवांटेजेस हैं इस तरह के स्कीम्स के या फिर गवर्नमेंट के इनिशिएटिव के? दिस प्रोग्राम will provide an opportunity to the student and entrepreneurship and even for the innovators to show the innovative approach in the technology solutions and to promote innovations for the crop improvement, right? This is a problem that the farmers are specifically facing in our country. It will give impetus to the desired rapid result in the crop sectors, जहाँ पे ability to learn, innovate and solutions की तरफ ध्यान दी जाएगी. Even it will call for employability and entrepreneurship, and it will also encourage to create adaptations of technology solution in our country. So these are some of the major advantages that the stakeholders, the farmers, and even the people involved in the farming will be benefited from this. Now, Ceravac is again a vaccine which has been released. This is an injection that will even cure the human papilloma virus. It's a virus that mostly affects the female. We'll see the detail about this vaccine. Recently, the center has announced the first indigenous developed vaccine, that is Cervavac, the first vaccine to prevent the cervical cancer. This is an indigenous vaccine which has been developed in India. Cervavac is developed through the partnership between the Department of Biotechnology (DBT), Biotechnology Industries Research Council, that is BIRC, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Serum Institute of India, which has also manufactured a lot of vaccines. Now, the vaccines can prevent an infection but cannot clear that it once happened, right? So there are other level of advancement which will be done, but initially this is an effective vaccine. For older individuals, 3 doses are recommended. Now, talking about the human papilloma virus, this is a virus commonly being transferred through sexually transmitted infections. The cervical cancer caused by the persistence of the high level of strain that is there in the HPV, that is a human papilloma virus, that continues to have only type of cancer and can be prevented by the vaccine. तो HPV के बारे में कई बार सवाल पूछे जाते हैं, आपको पता होना चाहिए human papilloma virus किस particular problem से related. India account for about 1/5 of the global burden in terms of the cervical cancer, seeing 1.25 lakh cases and 75,000 deaths every year. It's a huge number. Worldwide, cervical cancer is the second most type of the cancer according to the World WHO International Agencies for the Research on Cancer. Now, some news that is brief in nature and very much important for the prelims examination perspective. We'll see some of the details about that as well. The first is CAPF eAwas web portal. The center has recently launched an online portal called eAwas for the CAPF personnel. This type of news is more relevant for all the aspirants who are preparing for CAPF examination. Right? जो बच्चे सेंट्रल आर्म्ड पुलिस फोर्स की ट्रेनिंग के लिए तैयारी कर रहे हैं उनके लिए भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा relevant है. Now, CAPF eAwas is unified portal that has been created to operationalize and improve the policies of allocations and also to increase transparency in the entire allocation process. The web services allowed the eligible CAPF and the Assam Rifle troops to register online for the housing allocation. तो पूरी पोर्टल जो हाउसिंग एलोकेशंस है उसके प्रोसेस को ईज करने के लिए बनाई गई है. As per the government estimate, the housing satisfaction rate, which is to 33% in 2014, has rose up to 73% in 2014 under the CAPF eAwas Yojana. Now, e-Badal Nidan online portal, the National Commission for Protection of Child Right, has several new features of e-Bal Nidan portal, and this in CPPR will be providing IDs and password to the state commissions to enable and view complaint that is registered on the portal. So this is more of a integration that is there, right? The commission has revamped the portal to include the new feature that is to be beneficial from the complaint as well as commission while dealing with the complaint. So a database will be created under this portal where the features can be available both by the state government and the central government and even for the union territories. What are the new features that has been added? Some of the new features that include the bifurcation of the complaint based on the complaint into the subject matters like juvenile justice, POSCO, labor, educations, internal monitoring, transfer of complaint to the commissions. तो categorizations की गई है अलग-अलग complaint के बारे में. 36th national game, which started in Gujarat, is hosting 36th National Festival from September 27 to October 10. For the first time in the state is hosting the prestigious event. After a gap of 7 years, the event will be held in 6 cities, that is Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, Surat, Vadodara, Rajkot and Bhavnagar. So ये कुछ important cities हैं, 6 ऐसे शहर है गुजरात के जिनमें ये organize की गई थी. Now more than 33 games include the national games. That Moto की अगर बात करें, Moto and musket is important for the examination, right? So first Moto is celebrating unity through sports, and the musket is Savage, that is the Asiatic lion. The last editions of the national games was organized in Kerala in 2015. Global Innovation Index. Recently, India has ranked 14th positions out of 132 countries. This is a positive news in terms of the total world intellectual property right and even for the innovation which is released by the WIPO. India has ranked 46th position in 2021 and 81st position in 2015. So this is a rank improvement that India has done in the Global Innovation Index. GI over the year, India has continued to rise to the progressive measures by the government to ensure that the industry is working in the right hand in the right direction. The Global Innovation Index, which is published annually by the World Intellectual Property Organization, has been leading the references of Indian economy and their performances. A large number of countries use GAI to assess and improve the innovation ecosystem and even use GAI as a reference in the Indian economy and the policies matter. Now, Manthan is again an initiative. The Union Minister for Road Transport and Highway has recently launched Manthan. What is this Manthan? This is a 3-day invitation conference come public expo that is organized by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highway, and it aims to anchor the discussion across the multiple issues and opportunities that is there in the road sector, transportation sector, and even for the logistics sector that will engage the state, UT and other stakeholders from the industries to share the best practices, support and capacity development, right? So this is a more of a brainstorming that is done by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highway. The theme of the Manthan is idea to actions toward a smart, sustainable road infra, mobility and logistic ecosystem. Now, e-Dakhil portal. The center has recently launched e-Dakhil portal for the consumer grievance redressal, which is now operational for the 15 state and union territories. The Consumer Protection Act 2015, which come into force in 2020, has a provision of e-filing consumer complaint, and online payment can also be done. Right, the portal has been developed by NIC, National Information Center, and the digital software for filing the consumer complaint has been there with a feature like e-notice is there, the case documentation download, VC link, filing the written response, and even filing and rejoining the complaint through alert and SMS will be there. Some bilateral and agreement and summit that is relevant for the month of September. Indo-Pacific Economic Forum ministerial meeting. Recently, the Union Minister of Commerce and Industries had addressed the Indo-Pacific Framework meeting in the Los Angeles in the United States. और IPEF ministerial की अगर बात करें, this focus on facilitating open trade, keeping supply chain more open. Now, the Indo-Pacific Economic Forum works to ensure that the Indo-Pacific region would remain secure, open for the businesses, and even India agreed out three pillars out of the four. The first is the supply chain, second is the tax, anti-corruptions, and the clean energy. So this is how the things are working in the right direction to ensure India is having a great contribution and proactive role in the Indo-Pacific Economic Forum. Now, US is the largest trading partners, and many Indian companies has a lot of work in their counter in America. Now, US Startup Setu, India has recently launched US Startup Setu, supporting enterprises for transforming an upscaling program at the Bay of Bengal in San Francisco, United States. The initiative connects the startup in India and the US based investor ecosystem, जहाँ पे mentorship दी जाएगी ऐसे नए startups को, assistance to the various areas which include funding, marketing access, and the commercialization. The meeting focuses on the ways to encourage the domestic incorporations, mentorship, and Indian startup by successful diaspora members in the Bay Area. Now, what is Setu? Setu is designed to break the geographical barriers between the mentors and the US that are willing to invest in the entrepreneurship and sunshine startup in India. It will connect the startup in India to the US based invention and startup ecosystem leaders. The Shitu will provide the mentorship and assistance to startup in various areas including funding, market access, and commercialization. And the portal will be developed with an idea to be accessible from every corner of the country to connect the mentors. So Setu basically mean a connection which is helping all the entrepreneurship, the new startup, the unicorn to get the geographical barrier removed and work in a progress. India-Japan 2+2 ministerial dialogue. The 2+2 dialogue was held between India, where External Affairs Minister has attended. With that, the Defense Minister was also the part of it. The Defense Minister of India and Japan was a part of the 2+2 ministerial dialogue. The leader from the both countries has reaffirmed their commitment to the rule-based order, where they call for the respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity and emphasize for all countries to seek a peaceful resolution on international laws, which is again a threat, and unilaterally change the status quo. The minister highlighted the commitment to the common specific goal or strategic goal to achieve free and Indo-Pacific. इंडिया की अगर बात करें, इंडिया के पास ऑलरेडी क्वाड की मेंबरशिप है, which is also helping the region, right? Inclusive, resilient, based on rule and law, and free from cohesion. Some military exercises and initiative that took place in the month of September and relevant for the examination. The first is INS Taragiri. Its name as a hill range in Himalayas located in Garhwal. The fifth ship project of the 17-8 frigates. It's a project of 17-8 frigates that was launched at the Macazon Dock Shipbuilding Limited in Mumbai. And these ships are the advanced version of P-17 frigates, that is the Shivalik class, which has improved the set features, state-of-art weapons, sensor, and platform management system. P-17 ships has been designed in-house, and the Indian Navy Warship is Design Bureau, which has a pioneer organization for all warship design activities of the nation. Second is Exercise Pitch Black 2022. This type of exercises is very important for the prelims examination. The Indian Air Force contingent participating in exercise Pitch Black basically in Australia has written of a successful participation from the multinational exercise. Exercise Pitch Black was hosted by the Royal Australian Air Force at the Darwin Air Base, right? And Indian Air Force contingent include 4 Su-30 MKI and even the C-17 aircraft, right? Now, the exercise powered an opportunity for Air Force to share the best practices and experiences. Japan India Maritime Exercise. The sixth edition of Japan India Maritime Exercise GMX was hosted by Indian Navy that concluded in the Bay of Bengal. So this is again an important initiative that was there by between India and Japan. The GMX seeks to concentrate a high degree of interoperability and existence between the maritime forces of two countries, and even it called for the complex exercises like surface, subsurface, and domains. Both sides engaged in the advanced level anti-submarine warfare, weapon frings, and air defense exercises. The exercise which mark the 10th anniversary of the JMX since interceptions in 2020, where it actually started, and consolidate the mutual understanding and interoperability between the two navies, that is India and Japan. So this was all about for the PIB for the month of September. We have a lot more other initiatives for you. There's daily news and editorial analysis in which I discuss both the newspaper, that is the Hindu and Indian Express. It's a compilation which will give you an insight about all the news, and this is a comprehensive analysis where you definitely will be benefited from this. Do check it out in our playlist section. IS Gazette की मैगजीन है, आप देख से डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं हमारे IS गैन के वेबसाइट से. FCA is there, PIB which I'm already discussing, MPR has already been released, and Just of Yojana and Kurukshetra has also been uploaded. So do check it out. All this initiative will help you to sail through the journey of civil services. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.